Welcome to the $25,000 added Ohio Open. It's the third day of the fourth U.S. Pro Billiard Series event, sponsored and presented by CueSports International and Predator. We had 60 players for this event, being held in conjunction with the CueSports International League Ohio State Championships, featuring the BCAL Pool League and the USA Pool League. We are at the Roberts Center in Wilmington, Ohio. The game is 10 ball, 2 races to 4 with a spot shot shootout. If each player wins one set, this is George Teache in the booth with Jeremy Jones bringing you the live action from Ohio.
Yeah, we've seen this before with Fortunski breaking to open our match, but breaking from his left side rail, our right side, if we're, as the viewers would look at it. And look how many balls are on the same side.
Same side? Yeah, they breaks from the side they break from is where the balls end up.
Yeah, now I think he's got to cross this and go between the 4-9, really. With a little inside. I think if he goes between the 8-10, he may scratch in the side. Plus, he may not get the safety. So I think this takes a little inside English. He could go between the 8-10, but maybe loses the 1 that way. We'll see. This is what I was worried about, the scratch right there.
Oh,
yeah, that's
one he almost got.
And you notice how he wasn't going to protect the 1 as much, right? Yeah. So it was a little nervy to play that with inside and go between the 4-9, but I think that was really the way to get the safety. Now, this ain't bad, though. What do you do, George? You play the 1 between the 7-9 and kind of just drift the cue ball towards the 10, maybe?
I might play the cue ball to the 7 and drift the 1 ball straight up.
I think he loses them going that way. Yeah, he got a double kiss. It was super touchy going that way.
Okay.
Now, if the 1 was off the rail a hair more,
okay.
You know?
Good point.
Yeah, because when it's close to the rail, you have to cut it more not to get the double kiss.
Perfect. Well, the hitman's back at it.
Yeah, I think he rubs the 10 here just a little bit to slow the cue ball down. No reason not to, and it clears things up a little bit for later in the rack.
42-year-old Hall of Famer, soon to be Hall of Famer, being inducted this year.
Yeah, that's right, and deservingly so.
He's actually ranked 4th in the tournament points for the Pro Billiard Series. 2 9th through 16th finishes in Arizona and in Michigan.
Yeah, funny spot here, and yeah, very consistent player, Thorsten.
Sure.
You're going to have to beat him. He usually doesn't give many away. The 4 goes by the 7. That's how he'd love to play it. Otherwise, he's really got to draw the cue ball up pretty tidy on the 4. Okay, so this tells me it definitely goes by the 7. The good thing is he doesn't have to draw the ball to the far side of the table for the 5.
Just has to make it and stay on the left side.
Yeah, he can run
Easy
the cue
cut.
ball.
He can run the cue ball around. Yeah. He came up for it anyway. He says, I'm going to get good on this ball.
Probably still runs the cue ball a little bit around.
3 rails.
Maybe not. He may cheat it, but the thing is, I don't think he has the entire pocket to cheat with the 6 being there, right? So he has to play the 5 in the left side of the side. So may see him track the cue ball a few rails.
And plus, he wants to make sure he doesn't leave himself a thin cut on the 6.
Right.
That way he can get on the 7 real easily, as you said. And it looks good.
It looks like a stop shot to me. May dink it in with a little roll, but that sends him a little more towards the 10 with the cue ball. I would like to stop the ball here, or maybe even go to the rail.
Just to the rail and come off just a hair. Not very much. Just like that. Just like that.
Still a little funny.
Yeah, that 10 ball can come in. Could come into play.
You may have to come tight at the 10 and use some really nice speed, right?
The speed's going to have to be perfect, yeah, because he's going to come really across the line for the 8.
Yeah, but he'll spread the cue ball like that. And one thing you'll notice about the top players, and this isn't always, but 95 out of 100 shots they shoot, the cue ball never really seems like it's going real fast.
And always just kind of rotations into the last shot. You like another rotation there.
Yeah, not bad though, and that's just how today's game's set up and equipment. You have to trust the ball kind of coasting into position.
Well, he stole this first track. Players getting the balls for John Lehman. Keep in mind, folks, this is 2 races to 4 with a spot shot shootout. If each player wins 1 set, there is a 30-second shot clock with a 30-second extension per player per game. This tournament is being played on 9-foot Predator tables, the Arcadia Reserve cloth, the arena lights, the Arcos 2 balls, and John racks them with that new Predator triangle rack. It is winter break, 3-foul rule. Early 10 balls are allowed and encouraged. There's Torsten to break the balls in this second game of the first set. In this third round winners match, this will send the winner of this match to the final 16. Already waiting there is Roberto Gomez and Naoyuki Oi, who just won. Moving into that spot.
John Moore has also advanced into that final 16. That's the break I would have to try. I mean, I saw that yesterday really reap a lot of rewards, right? I mean, a lot of success with it. Now, he's got to make a choice. Does he go for this thin cut? Does he put him behind the 8 with the cue ball, the 8 and the 4?
I like that. I like your second choice. It's just much higher percentage.
And it's just a little thin.
Nothing wrong with going for it, but I like the, especially because of the short race.
Yeah, really beautiful cue ball there, and he's going to have to follow the same route the one took, a couple rails towards it. Laid the cue ball down so nice, pretty impossible to tie a ball up. So, again, with the 9 there and all that, so I don't lose accuracy on the kick. I like the mild kick here. A lot of good things can happen hitting the one mildly. You can, leave him on top of it. You could tie the 1-9 up. Now, if you kick hard, I think you really, especially being jacked up, right? You're going to bend the ball a little bit. Easy to miss this kick shot. Not an easy kick shot anyways, but.
Now you got to come right at the first diamond there from the 2 rails up on top. And that's what he's looking at now.
Even if the 9 wasn't there, the slow kick really offers a lot of positive things. So the hard kick, again, easy to miss it.
Mieszko a 791 Fargo and Torsten a 790 Fargo. They're a point apart in their Fargo points ranking.
Well, Thorsten in a prime position to take a 2-game lead.
Unfortunately, in a race to 4, it's not a devastating 2-game lead.
No, it's
it can happen quick and turn quick with the early 10s and 10 ball on the break.
For sure, it's a weird not weird format, but it's a weird way to look at some things. It's, again, you pointed out something great there. It's definitely, there is no lead that's secure here with this format, but you do feel like it's a decent lead in the format as well. So it's kind of
a 2-game lead. Anytime you got a 2-game lead, especially early, you're feeling pretty good about it. But all of a sudden here, it can turn around, and we've seen it turn around in a heartbeat.
Yeah, we've seen many matches that we felt like was all one-sided. And we've gotten to the second set at Hill to where it could change real quick and go to a shootout. But I'll tell you one thing that bodes very well for Thorsten is the break shot. Yesterday he broke great. It improved as the match went. And today he's opened up with a nice break. So, and in comparison to the 2 guys we saw in the opening match who really struggled on the break.
And Mieszko, that wasn't a very, something to be proud of, I guess you might want to say, on that break. Just wasn't. It cost him. Here's your 2-game lead we talked about, and we'll go to a commercial break and be right back. We're back to the live action with Torsten about to break the balls for the third game of the first set versus Miško Fortunski. In the background, you're watching the Ohio State Championships for the CSI BCA Pool League and the USA Pool League.
Yeah, that's going to heat up when the teams start, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Little off there, came across him a little bit, just like 9-ball. Oh, wow.
There goes the 3.
Got the 4-railer, and not the spread he had in the first rack,
no.
But easy 1-ball, 2's easy to get to, and the 4's near. So I wouldn't doubt he creates off the 5 with a cross-side bank maybe.
I like that. And then push the 6-ball with the cross-side bank, push it towards that upper pocket, and
yeah,
it looks good for him.
Yeah, I don't really, unless he gets really good with the 6 and the 8 there, I don't see him drawn into the 5, any of that. I would just probably
put the cue ball right where it is right now.
Yeah, later on after the 4 to play for that bank. Like George said, you can push the 6 into the rail and into the 8, getting it a little closer and opening it up for a shot. So, all right, now this is the angle I was wondering about. If he got on this angle, does he come 2 rails into the 6, or does he just play the high ball and come 2 rails for the bank?
Let's see what he does. I like coming the 2 rails like in line with the 9-ball to get for that bank shot on the 5.
Yeah, this is the angle I was wondering if he got here, man, it would be enticing to try and go into the 6.
He's got to come pretty close to that corner.
Well, the 8's going to help him.
He's going into it.
Oh, no, it's not. Wow.
That was risky.
Well, you know, and it's almost like if you're a Thorsten fan, you would have, or you're pulling for him here, you would have hoped he didn't get that angle that really allowed him to maybe try and break him out, because he would have certainly just come up for the bank shot. And I think in this race to 4 at that 2-0 lead, he's playing great.
Yep.
He probably doesn't miss the bank. So,
well, as bank shots go, if you put the cue ball in a good place, that bank shot is as easy as they come.
Yeah, I agree, George. Difficult kick here. He's really all about making it. He could hit it a speed to lay the 5 on the end rail, but very difficult. You know, hard to get by the 8 with the bridge, let alone
it is.
You know, get safe here. Oh, wow.
What a shot.
And that's about all there was.
What a shot. Did he make this? What a shot.
Oh, Thorsten Hohmann, I tell you.
That'll pump you up.
Yeah, settle yourself here after a big shot. I wouldn't mind him even using the extension, to be honest with you. Which I think he did in the last, maybe.
Trying to get on the hill. He's got these 4 balls left. He'd like to have a little angle here. But
Absolutely,
he's okay.
George.
Yeah. Because this makes it a little tricky.
Yeah. If he draws it back, he's got to be very careful. I would still just stun out for the corner as best I could, I think. I don't like the side here on the 9. Yeah, I like that shot there. The 10's over the side. I mean, you know, let's keep it simple. Maybe could have used 2 or 3 more inches, but it should be fine. May go ahead and get into this and come 2 rails. A lot of guys don't want to end up on top of the 10, right? So they'll go ahead and put a little energy into this. Oh, it skid big time. Ooh. That ball kicked big time. You saw it slide right off of contact. Now Fortunski's got to go for this bank. Depending on how he plays it, I think he avoids all scratches, but the one in the side is the only one, depending. If he cuts it a bit with less English, I think he's fine. Doesn't have a problem with the cue ball. If he comes across it with a lot of right, trying to throw the bank back 2 rails in the side, is a little bit alarming. And that all depends on the speed, of course. Oh, beautiful.
And just like that, instead of 3-0, we're at 2-1. Nice bank shot by Fortunski. The speed on the cue ball was perfect. Keep in mind, folks, that Fargorate is the title sponsor of this event, and it has the only rating system that computes amateur and professional player rankings worldwide. So everyone's on the same scale. CSI leagues and players have full access to LMS, which is the league management system, and it is free with Fargo. And there's Kang Lee and Ernesto Dominguez. Kang playing very well in these tournaments. Young man from New York. Fortunski to break, trailing 1-2 in a race to 4. And it looks like it's going to be a dry break. Not much of a shot on the one offensively.
I don't think. Now, if he can just subtly swerve it and throw this ball in, he may go for it. I think the 9's got him, though. Can he edge this and run the cue ball?
If he can avoid the 5 ball.
It looks tough to me.
It's real tough to do. Can he bank it and avoid the scratch and hold the cue ball? Can he bank it straight uphill towards the 2?
He may just bank it and let the 1 have a lot of speed and draw over behind the 10. 1 rail. Oh, he tried to really hit it sweet behind
that's
the
what
5.
I thought. That's what I thought he might try to do, and that's why I asked.
Yeah, that was tough.
Yeah.
But, you know, doable, obviously, but tough. We brought up his nickname a couple times, the Butcher, and found out exactly why. Why? It's because he just really kind of, they said, robbed a lot of people when he was young. Off angle here because it doesn't appear the 3 passes the 5. If it does, it's awfully tight.
Yeah, by many considered one of the best Polish players of the contingent they send over every year.
Well, he's called this cross side, and that's all about the cue ball. Makes me feel like he's going to draw this with a heavy low left spin and wrap this corner on the upper left and bring the cue ball back behind the 3. It's the only reason I can see, yeah, like that. Try and wrap that corner, get by the 9. He's going to get a kiss shot on the 6. I don't know with the 5 there what he can do with it. He may just play the safety.
I think
kiss shot's easy, but it doesn't have a future, right?
Yeah, and it also isn't certain.
I think it's pretty easy shot. Yeah, I just don't think he's going to come up with anything afterwards. So
I like the percentage there a lot higher, and more predictable. And like you said, that 5 ball.
Yeah, he just with the 5 in there, I think he plays the kiss shot, but with no future in mind. Well, Thorsten should hit this all day. He's going to try and follow the cue ball, the end rail, maybe make it. Oh, he hit it pretty light. I thought he'd put a little more into that. He's left him tough. I'll tell you that. Nothing easy about this 3 ball here, George.
Yeah, because he can kiss off that 7 and just go down the drink there.
Yeah, pocketing the ball is not easy.
Yeah.
That's just really on the 50. I'd like to cut it in the corner if I was avoiding it. Now another bank shot he's taking on. Doesn't that send the cue ball towards the 7
It does that
well?
too, yes, it does.
Wow, good stroke there. I don't know if he made it. No, he didn't make it, but got through it nice. And
he got away with it.
Yeah, got a bit of a reward. May have to slow kick this across the table. I know it's not a friendly kick to try and make it in the side, but kick to the end rail. The 8's really got him cut off going behind the 4. He's hoping to use the 8 here. Oh, watch out, cue ball.
Oh.
Still nothing easy, and we may see another cross-side bank from Fortunski.
Yeah, this one. Does he have to worry about the scratch on the bottom here in the lower corner?
I don't think too much. I think if he gets through it, he gets to the side rail, no problem. In rail up, you know, maybe a foot left of the 9 with the cue ball, something like that. Yeah, really nice shot.
Nice
there.
Control.
Really has a great stroke, a lot of power, effortless power.
I think it's because he's left-handed. Jeremy and I joke about that, folks.
That, yeah.
Exactly.
I live in a house full of left-handers.
Do you really?
Besides myself, yeah, pretty much. There's one righty in there. Very fluid player, though. Very, I call an athletic motion. Just wants to get out a little bit. The good thing is you don't need a lot of angle. You don't want a lot of angle anyways, but you don't need a ton to be able to knock the 7 in and get back across table above the 8. Oh, watch out now. I know he's lefty, but he's got to be able to reach it. That's about the premium on the angle. Good thing for Michko, the 9's very accessible, so getting on this 8, he has a lot of options.
Doesn't mind the distance here. It's going to come right over for the 9. Looking good through these 3 balls. To tie things up at 2 in the first set. Keep in mind it's 2 sets. Oh my Lord.
Yeah.
That was unexpected.
Very much.
Was he leaning over the table there, or
no? He was cueing just fine. Just overcut it just a little bit. And one thing I've seen about the Predator, it's almost like the points are a little sharp. Like maybe sharp isn't the right way, but it doesn't take much to miss the ball going into the outer point. It seems like.
Okay.
Seems like down the rail they play a little softer, of course, but when you cut it and catch that point, it seems to want to jump off that point pretty well.
Oh, big break for Torsten here to get on the hill here and take a 3-1 lead after looking at what was sure to be a tied ball game.
Man, I mean, I know he's up 3-1, but the way he's breaking in comparison to his opponent, got to label him as a favorite, not only with the score line, but just the way he's getting results off the break.
pass.
Yeah.
Torsten to break the balls here, leading 3-1. Torsten started out this tournament with a bye, and then he had a match here on this stream table against James Davey from Seattle, Washington. That was a good match, but he pulled that one out pretty handily. Played well. Playing well here.
Yeah, just like here, broke well.
Mm-hmm.
Dry guy there. And Meetsko's got to get it going.
I think he'll take on this bank shot.
Well, he's made a few already. Yeah. Just a couple games, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
2 or 3 in the last.
He's got an easy safety both ways, but the bank shot looks good too.
It looks like he hasn't called anything, so he's laying the cue ball by the 9.
Well, if he can see any part of it, there's not much he can do with it.
No, I think he can get a little piece, though.
Mm-hmm.
If he could get a lot, he may draw the ball off of that 1, trying to come back all the way down. The 8, the 1 would go to the side rail, maybe call it in the opposite corner.
Yeah, he's going to have
what he has.
If he can see a piece of it, he's going to have a hard time avoiding a double kiss up there with the 1 or the 8.
Right. Yeah, the kick is not really offering much, not a make of any sort, and don't really see much safety. He's going to try and edge this and use the 8, I think, to lay the cue ball behind, but light. Oh, no, he went the other way. Watch out, cue ball behind the 2 maybe, or is it going to give up a shot?
It's going to give up a shot. And Mieszko will gladly come to the table and see if we can just run these out. The 4 ball's a little tricky. He's going to have some work to do.
And it does pass the 9, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's going to have to play tight position, though, with the 6 being there and the 8, coming across off the 3.
It does. I first glanced at that and I thought he was tied up. Fortunski, a Predator player. He is sponsored by Predator. Toying with the time clock. Keep in mind we are on a 30-second time clock.
It's like he can draw this. He's close enough to it. Just cheat the pocket a little bit and draw. Follow looks like, I don't know if that gets by the 4 or not. Yeah, see how it spread a little bit?
Oh, he got there, though.
He sure did. What a nice shot. Catches any little piece of the 4 there. He's kind of cut off the offensive run.
Nice shot. Didn't use the rail at all. I thought he might slide it off the rail to avoid coming close to the 9. Looking good. He was looking good last game. This is looking a little better this game, though.
Would have liked to have had a little more out of that.
This can sometimes be a tricky shot, and I think it's because you didn't get where you wanted to get, so you're kind of kicking yourself in the buns for not getting there.
Right. Yeah, one they're supposed to knock in all day, but yeah, it's kind of a human nature thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
If your opponent missed and left you that shot, you'd be in love with it.
But since you didn't get there, you're not so much in love with it.
That's right.
And so this will be 2-3. No, you said keep going. Keep in mind we have the Pro Billiard Series tournament points that will get the top 6 point leaders out of the 160 players that are in there so far invited to the 2022 Predator World 10-Ball Championship. There's also other invites from, of course, the reigning, like WPA and different factions, but the top 6 players will get invited. Another way to get into this Arizona or to the Las Vegas Predator World 10-Ball is to win the Arizona Open or the Diamond Las Vegas, the Michigan, or this one. Already in is Fedor Gorst, Kunlin Wu, and Aloysius Yap, and Mr. Fortunski to break the balls here, trying to get that invite and win this tournament. He's in the 3rd round winner so far. This match gets him into the final 16, which will go to single elimination. Left-hander from Poland, smacking the balls pretty hard, and it looks like it's going to be dry with an open shot on the 1 for Torsten.
Yeah, this TV table on day 3 has been awfully stingy.
Very forgiving the first 2 days, but not today.
Yeah, it's. I think yesterday was the most generous it's been. Definitely much more generous than today. But
well, you know, Ernesto was working on this table early this morning.
I wonder why.
So it wouldn't break so good. I'm just kidding, folks. I'm just teasing.
But was he working on it?
He was working on it a little bit.
I wonder why.
Remember you said you saw a couple of jumps, a rail jumping a couple days ago? So they checked for that.
Oh, okay.
He was checking for that.
All right, he's going for it. Heavy outside. The only way he can get shape. Makes it a missable ball. Yeah.
Oops.
And Thorson knew it, and it was just
what he had to play.
Yeah, I mean, no really reason to take a chance pocketing that 1 to try and get lucky for shape. He had to take on a harder shot with extreme side spin, but it was worth it. I mean, that's what was going to get you out and maybe get you this first set.
Well, now he's got to come underneath this 9 ball. Oh, he didn't come out.
And it's amazing.
Did he let up on that stroke?
Exactly right, George.
Wow.
Exactly right.
The background.
Try to guide the speed a little bit, you know.
Instead of trusted. The background, you see the Michigan Open, the Ohio State Championships for the league play. Gosh. Go ahead, Jeremy. I'm sorry.
Well, I was just saying it's just amazing how common the mistake is on all levels. Of course, these guys don't do it very often and not very severe. You know, when they let up on it, a lot of times they still get most of the shot done. But it is amazing to me how common the mistake is. And now Thorsten Hohmann with what really looks like a long straight shot on the 2 to, we can't see the future, but he should get out if he buries this ball.
Yes.
He's got a lot of work. Got to get from the 5 to the 6 later in the rack, but can't take your eye off this one.
And there's that part of it. Now the rest of it kind of lays pretty natural. I don't think it takes much explanation, knowing that they have to be in rotation. And
yeah, 1 rail up here.
Yep.
He played the 2. Nothing wrong with that. It's kind of preference. You can kill it with a little check, or you can shoot it with 2 rails.
Control the speed better with 2.
Yeah, but there's the factor of the inside English, so, it's just kind of preference. On the slick table, I really don't use the inside quite as much, but hey, this table's breaking in a little bit, right? So we can't necessarily label it like a really super slick table anymore like it was in day 1 and 2.
Well, I will say something about Torsten is the fact that I see him use a lot of inside English. He's okay with just a little inside, a touch of inside.
Wow. That was surprising there.
Yeah, this got a little...
Yeah. It didn't bother me. Now he's got to go short side maybe. It's close. Yeah. And that's the thing that I preach to really the Moscone Cup guys is if the cue ball's leading you naturally there, under high pressure, if you can play where the cue ball wants to go, man, how much better are you?
Oh, exactly. And you said it all, under high pressure. When it lays naturally, it's easy to execute. When it doesn't, Yeah, that's where you get in trouble. These 3 balls to win the first set.
They could have pounded that one over.
Yeah.
Thorsten has that shot all day. It's one of his better shots. Decided to play it a little underneath. Nothing wrong with this at all. Just 1 rail up here.
These 2 balls, and we'll go to commercial break between sets. And so now it's just a matter of making this 10 ball, and Thorsten takes the first set, 4-2. Target or whatever. And it works for me. And this gentleman here will be breaking the ball since Mishko won the lag and broke the first set. And that means the second set is his to break. He won the first set 4-2. And here we go on to the second. If he can win this one, he moves over to the final 16. Mishko, of course, wants to win it and send it to a shootout. 9 ball down. He's going to have a shot on the 1. No, he's not. 2 ball might go too. Oh, he got kissed.
I think he's got a nice shot.
He's got a nice. Oh yeah, what an opening!
And definitely has broke the balls better than any player today so far. And maybe, you know, there were a few that broke well yesterday, but Thorsten was one of them. That's for sure. So.
Yeah, in his match with Davey, he was breaking well.
Yeah, we talked a little bit, yesterday about his break, me and Thorsten, that it's improved. That's for sure. And so he's working on it. Oh, nice speed there, like perfect speed on the cue ball, it looks like anyways. And when you just fall like this, makes things easy. You can play the 4 in the same pocket. You can go forward for the 4 on the side. And he does have to work still. He's got to get on the 5 nice to get on the 6 with a little angle to get across for the 7. Now the thing is, do you want to play underneath the 5 to travel 2 rails all the way back to about where the 4 is at now?
Yeah.
You know, if you end up short, the 6 becomes missable. If you overhit it, you're long and straight on the 6, and you can't get on the 7. So
I like going that route.
Yeah, that's the most common route a lot of times, especially from here. But I kind of like this a little bit better, not trying to really use my speed. Now I can just draw above it and know I'm in a good spot all the time, right? Because it's impossible to draw straight in almost on this ball right here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you just draw maybe a foot above where he's at now. This is just a little more guaranteed. You know what I mean, George?
Yes, I like it.
Yeah, and that's a lot of experience right there, because 99% of us get fooled to play underneath that 5 and run the cue ball, and then we really could. You know, you can still do it, but you better have good speed on the cue ball is all I can tell you.
Well, it's back to coming across the line.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, and you know, you play a rack of 9 ball or 10 ball, you're going to have to come across the line. That's just how it is. But right there, that was we could all learn something from Thorsten Hohmann right there with that decision. All right, does he come 2 or does he try to pinch 1? I think he's coming 2. That's got to go, doesn't it? Or slow down, one of the two. Good thing is he's close to it, so accuracy should be pretty darn good. Did he kill it with a low ball?
No, I think I just go ahead and shoot it straight
in.
Just roll it.
A little hair of outside.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just a hair of outside to help that roll. Guide that roll, I guess you might say. Nicely done.
Yeah, here's a guy that every match he plays is getting his game back even more and more.
Takes the first game, opening game of the first set, with a nice break and run. John Lehman using that Predator triangle rack to rack on these Predator tables on that cloth. Arcadia Reserve cloth. Great little weave on the cloth. Worsted blend of Australian merino wool and Japanese nylon. Didn't know that. 70% wool, 30% nylon.
Oh man, that's gonna hurt.
And 100% pocket there.
Yeah. Yeah, just straight on into the pocket too. Thorsten knows that one's on him. Was no bad kiss or anything like that.
Came across the front of the ball.
Yeah.
The top of the ball, I guess.
Yeah, he's got to just come one rail down the center of the table. Not really a whole lot of problems here. He's got a little, traffic, you might say, near the 4, but not really any problems at all. He's got some work, that's for sure, and he may have wanted to get a little further down there, but that's okay.
Yeah, he's good there.
Just got to hit this a little easy. Uh-oh.
Did he? That's a couple of shots that he's just left out. Is he just rushing it, overconfident, not giving its due attention? I guess. All of the above.
No, I think it's the same thing that we talked about before, George. I see a let up, right? So when you see a let up, the spin comes off the ball. And so, that one. Thorsten usually very, very good with the bridge.
Probably just stop it there and play the 4-ball downtown. Up table.
I don't think he wants to play the 6 in the side, though, so he'll need to get a little bit of an angle. Ooh, he didn't get a whole lot. I guess he's going to use that powerful stroke to just stun between the...
Either that or draw it back and come up for the 6.
Can he draw and not hit the 9?
It's tight. I'm not sure.
Oh, he's going with a high ball. I'd rather draw, than, like you said, than the high ball.
I might give myself a bank here.
Oh, what a sweet stroke that was. That was fairly effortless.
And well, like you called it a stroke, it's very powerful. Doesn't take much to move it that far.
Yeah, well, I think it was Buddy Hall that used to talk about it in commentary, that certain guys, when you watch them, you can feel and you can hear it, and you can definitely see the outcome of their strike of the ball. It's just so clean, you know. So, of course, Buddy was one of those guys, so probably easy for him to recognize.
Well, we're going to more than likely be tied here at the end of these 3 balls. He's moving the cue ball around.
Yeah, a little,
Get more angle than I thought, I guess. Yeah.
Just draws it, I guess.
He's just going to come up for it.
I was going to say that looked a little flat.
Yeah. And
it's almost the same thing again, though. He's going back a little quick and then just not fully accelerating downward. And it's no coincidence the cue ball ends up short. That's a telltale sign of what's going on with the stroke sometimes. So
now, do you just spin the center bank it?
Well, you spinning it with inside, you mean?
Yeah, with inside. It's not. Is it on the rail?
No,
it may not be on the rail. Then it's just a cut shot. Yeah.
I think he just flat cuts it myself, but just a straight high ball, and yeah. Now this here, if you make that smooth stroke, you get it there easy. If you try to chop it, a lot of things can happen. Yeah, nice stroke there.
Well, that'll get you right. That'll. Mieszko Fortunski tied at 1 in the second set. He must have this to force a shootout with Torsten Hohmann. 29-year-old from Poland, ranked 34th in the tournament points. Ball down, another ball down. And will he take on this bank to the side pocket, or will he play safe?
It's close. I mean, it's questionable, but I mean, the safety's not easy. I don't think the safety's easy. I think that's the first ball he's made on the break. He's trying to slow draw the ball behind the 3, bring the 1 across. Didn't get either done, it doesn't look like.
But the one won't pass the 7.
Yeah, and difficult. He may just have to play a real mild one, play the 1 into the 8 to where the 1 kind of replaces the 8. It still doesn't go by the 7, and then just track the cue ball down the table.
Right down where it's at now?
Yeah, I mean,
3.
if he goes
to
try and get a snooker
totally.
here, I think he could easily sell out. So if the 6 wasn't there, he would try to get the snooker. He would do the same thing and hit the side rail where the 6 is and bring the cue ball back underneath the 9, 10, and 3. But I think the way they lay, I think you got to pull on the reins a little bit here and just, you know, leave a long, tough, difficult, let's say, situation for his opponent. Like I said, if he really tries to get a snooker, I think he may go out of his way to giving up a shot.
How about just pushing the 1 ball to the head rail and trying to stay behind the 8?
Man, that shot
Is
sells
it real
out
tough?
a lot.
Does it? Okay,
Yeah,
I was looking at that.
There's not much room for error on that shot.
Yeah.
Now, this shot is a nice shot for sure, and took some execution. Didn't quite get the snooker, but nice play, though.
Nice 1 ball.
It's got to go a little bit.
Get behind the 9. Yeah, he's left a little bit. A little nibble.
You just got to coast this past the 1-5 and come up the table. He's putting a little right English on it, just not going very far, I guess. Might come out. Maybe not.
Yeah.
I wouldn't hit this. I'd hit this mild. The cue ball could come right up into the 3. Get safe. See that? Oh, nice shot. He hit it nice and full. Really nice hit there by Misko. Probably kind of rolls this kick here, George. I mean, if he hits the bottom of it, he can play the 1 by the 8 and a lot of good things. He can still make the kick at a lighter speed. Not super light.
Yeah.
You know, medium-ish. Wow, it went way long on him.
The lighter speed maybe opened up.
Yeah, it definitely opens up, but sometimes the tip can sometimes accidentally go a little higher than you want, and then it'll really spread with the top English as well. So
it's funny. It's on the softer shots too.
Oh, absolutely.
When that usually happens. Yeah.
I'd probably catch the rail here coming forward. I would have probably went beyond the side though. Does the 3 go by the 5, I guess? It's got to, right? For him to play this shot the way he did with a lot of angle?
Either that or he's going back and forth.
Yeah, it's got to go by.
No, it's got to go by. He would know.
Ooh, falling down below it now.
And now it's tough to get the cue ball in place for the 5.
And Fortunski would tell you, so far in this match, he hasn't had the best white ball so far. The cue ball hasn't been on the string.
It's gotten away, yeah. And then he's missed a couple of... you might want to call hangers almost.
Yeah, right? For him especially.
Yeah, for him, yeah.
Ball pocketing machine usually.
Yep.
Now can he spread by the 7 2 rails out and get by that right side pocket for the shot on the 5? That's kind of really the only option I see. Everything else really takes a chance. So it's kind of like slow draw with low right, trying to spin 2 rails by the right side pocket. Oh, he put it outside or inside, trying to kill it.
Yeah, there's another shot.
Yeah.
That was all trying to get position.
He's looking to see if the bank goes. They called a bank, I think. You're going to play underneath the 5 a little bit with the cue ball. Great shot. pool players have got so much heart knowing that he's got to knock that bank in, but he's playing underneath for a little safety, but knows if he makes it, he's got to come with another tough shot. So,
well, the good thing about it is this one looks like it lays good, but the nine ball plays pretty big.
I think exactly. You're exactly right there. He's got to put a little into this. Oh, squeezed it home.
And there we are. Came out good. Good bump.
Okay, 2 rails back over. Come out for the 8 in the side. No problems here. After taking care of some issues.
Yeah, this looks good for Torsten. A little bit of a 1-game lead and breaking, and with the first set under his belt.
And you're going to see it's going to always feel more like a grind when the balls are breaking difficult. You know.
Well, he had the first strike he broke and ran, and it was just a nice.
Well, that's got
nice
a 50-yard
spread.
line here.
This is that shot we talked about a little bit ago that you're kind of mad at yourself for overshooting it, and you're not straight in, but it's a very makeable shot. Yeah,
a lot more body movement as the match progresses for Thorsten as well. You know, much more steel at the beginning of the match. In the last few games, a little bit of movement in the body, so he's got to get a hold of that.
This will be this is for 2-1.
Wow.
Oh my Lord!
And what happens is that comes from speed, and he's just not smoothing the ball as much as he was at the beginning of the match.
And that's exactly right, because I looked down at my notepad when just as he shot that, and it looked like he was a little quick on it. And there was a little bit of body movement, I think.
Yeah, they go together.
Yep.
Quick and body movement go together.
And that's surprising because such an experienced player, he is 42 years old, and being inducted this year, right? November? When do they have their
I'll have to look into
BCA
that.
Hall of Fame? But he's already been nominated and chosen, so it's just a matter of the induction ceremonies, and
they
got to crown him.
The International? I guess it's not. They've had quite a few of them there before.
But this is something we don't see too often as pros with a shot like that. Especially that gentleman right there. And gentleman he is. Consummate gentleman.
Oh, yeah. He may take this cut on just because he's going into the 6 and maybe can hold. Looks like to me maybe he's playing the safety below on the 8. Is he trying to come 2 rails and freeze on the 8 or just lay behind it? Left a little bit of a jump shot. And it's amazing how mindful the guys are of the object ball now these days, as great as they are with the jump cue.
I was just noticing on my pad, you know how I keep score? It's not very often I mark a score up before the 10 ball drops. I had marked that one for Torsten.
Well, no wonder he missed it.
Commentator's curse.
Yeah, he was dead in the water.
Yeah. Now, yeah, blame me for it, and then he'll listen to this and blame me again.
No, I don't think Thorsten will.
No.
And you know I'm just
I know
picking
you
at
are.
you.
Somebody has to.
Oh, great hit. Great
nice
hit.
Shot. Ooh.
And way to make up for a 10 ball in the last rack there on that 1 ball. Now he's got to concentrate and regroup, but he's pretty natural on the 2 to knock this in, go by the 8, just 1 row up for the 4 in the side.
That is looking good through here.
Yeah, he can. I don't think he comes back across. The 5 does play by the 8, so it's amazing to me how, and that's one thing I love about pool and how many different styles can really get it done. You know, it doesn't have to be everyone look alike. It's trying to achieve the same thing.
As long as that timing going through the cue ball is right.
Yeah, but like, you know, it's obvious to most that like Thorsten, he's more of a guy that always stun the ball a little bit more, like a feeler. Feeler likes to stun the ball more rather than use a spin at times. You know, where you see like a Jason Shaw who's got tons of power but really plays a very fluid game. And you got a mix of them like Fortunski even. He's got both, where you know, which all the guys have both. But it's really what they prefer or what their technique really sets up for. It's just fascinating that you can play such high-level pool a few different ways.
Well, as you said, he's got these 3 balls to make up for that hung 10 ball.
Yeah, and he's got a chance to get back to breaking the balls.
That was a good view of Thorsten delivering the cue there. There was just a little bit of a head movement right as he delivers the cue. My buddy. Ceremony will take place on Friday. I was just talking to Jeremy during the break about Thorsten Hohmann, who's about to break the balls here, tied at 2 in the second set, and got a note from a friend, says the induction ceremonies will take place on October 29th in Norfolk, Sheridan, Virginia. It's with the International.
Yeah, that's the speed I like to see. Watch out for this kiss.
Kiss, oh my.
Wow. Wow, this 6 ties
that
up
hurt.
funny.
It did tie up, but that 8 ball's there.
Yeah, the 5 goes off the 8 in the side. I'm just wondering if he entertains this combo. And this is a doable rack. A little bit of a few things you can't predict, maybe. When he does play the 5 off the 8, where's the 6 going to go and whatnot. And so looking for an early win here in game number 5 of set number 2. Just light draw stroke here, maybe. Oh, that missed that one.
Wow.
By a piece. And now a big pocket. Little bit of a big pocket for the 1. Actually, the 4 takes away a little bit of the pocket, but adds a little on the right side.
Sure, if he goes
right?
to the
So,
rail,
yeah.
sure.
So he can hit some piece up the rail and still make it off the 4.
And it opens it up for the 3.
Yeah, and either way, if he hits it clean or opens it up. Now, he doesn't want to bang the 4 in too many places, but we'll see how that works out. But the 5 does play off the 8. Oh, man, this is going to be nice. This is going to lead the 4 to the 5 a lot easier.
Yeah, the 5-8. 5 off the 8 there.
Yeah.
That's what he's looking at now.
Now, he's going to have to play that with a little angle because the 6 is going to get moved a little bit. So he's going to need to be able to move the cue ball clear probably somewhat to the center of the table, somewhere around there. Now, the one thing is he could stay underneath it if he wants, because getting above it is a little tricky with the 7 being there, right? So he could stay behind it a little bit, like nearest the rail, not quite to the rail, of course, but near the rail, be able to play the 5 and just draw out a little bit for wherever the 6 goes, or for a play on the 6. Well, he got kind of straight. So now he's going to be able to cut it a little bit, but not have a ton of movement on the cue ball.
He can just follow the cue ball a bit here, can he?
Yeah. I mean,
it should follow up pretty nice, wouldn't that? But will the 8 ball move?
Will the 8 open? Yeah.
Yeah, will the 8 open away from the 6? That's
exactly
the question, yeah.
I think it will enough. You got to get by the 9 regardless, right? So it looks like he's stunning one rail out, which I don't blame him there. Oh, no, he's behind the 7 or no? He's okay.
But the 6 ball came over to the other side, so that worked out pretty good. He hit it with speed. I think that was the safest and smartest thing to do.
Well, yeah, let's open him up almost like Fortunski did.
Sure.
Or maybe it was Mario He that opened up the 8-9 in the last match on a draw stroke. But, you know, I kind of feel like Thorson wasn't 100% of what was going to happen. And you get in that position, so you want as much clearance as possible when you're in that spot.
Well, you know, you're tied at 2, you're racing to 4, and you want to make sure you get that hill game.
Well, that's for sure. But like I said, I just think he just didn't know exactly what was going to happen with the 2 balls. So let me get the cue ball out as much as possible, and let me make sure they're open.
And he looks like he's well, it's a little thin cut here. Nothing he shouldn't handle.
Yeah, actually, it's thinner than I thought, so he may not pull the ball here. He may come short side. May come short side 2 rails here. Oh, 3 rails. Don't play that one very often, that pattern there. So
that's a small landing area because you can come across that real quick.
Yeah, a lot of people would kill it 1 rail with inside and bounce off the 2nd rail instead of coming that 3, but he's in a good spot here. If he stays smooth, the pocket's pretty decent size.
And he gets the hill game.
Thorson looked up at us there, George. Gave a little look like, man, I kind of got away with one on the 10 there.
Did he?
Yeah.
Relieve a little stress there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that 10 ball he just shot, it's one of those shots that's just so easy to hang.
Yeah, if you're thorough with the stroke and, you know, at that medium speed, the pocket's, you know, gives you a little wiggle room like we saw right there. Not much, though.
Yeah, when that's missed, it's usually left out, though, isn't it?
Excuse me?
When that ball is missed, it's usually left out. It's not cut enough.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
When you're
That's
behind
the
the ball, yeah. And it's, I never could really explain to anyone why behind the ball is so much more difficult. Or meaning we see more mistakes when a player's behind the ball versus above the ball when it comes to pocketing the ball. I don't know why players miss it more.
I think it gets in your mind that you got there and you don't want to be there. I don't know if it's a mind thing or just,
I mean, even when I play position to there, it's just a more missable ball. You know, sometimes you play from behind it because you have to move the cue ball somewhere. But everyone that I've ever talked to has said it's a more missable ball when you're behind it. But I just don't know why exactly.
Maybe it's because you're looking away from the ball to the outside of it. I don't know. I'm trying to.
It should seem like the pocket is still in your peripheral. You know, a lot of people say it's a blind pocket. Well, I don't look at the pocket when I shoot. Period.
Exactly, and that's my point. Maybe it's because you're looking to the outside of the ball.
Could be.
Just trying to find a reason.
Nothing.
And it looks like the 6 ball's not going to make it. So
several balls hung. The one hung, kind of hit the pocket and came out a little bit.
Nice spread.
You got to be a little careful on this first shot. It's got to come 3 rails. May draw. I don't know, but it looks like he's drawing 2 rails. Make sure he doesn't. I was going to say to make sure he doesn't get snookered, and he still got snookered.
Wow.
Well, that's the reason why he played 2 rails, because it's hard to get snookered going that way back across, right? You play 3 rails with inside, leans you to getting behind the 4 more often.
Well, he's called a jump shot.
Man, he's amped up right now, so careful not to overhit this. Nice shot. All right, 5-6 combo, not too tough. He'd like to get just clean on the 5, though, so position on the 4 is very important.
Decided to take his extension instead of hurrying the shot. I still think he's unsettled as to where to shoot it.
I think you're exactly right, George. Yeah, and that tells you right there he was unsettled. He just didn't. I kind of feel like he didn't know exactly, like you said.
Yeah, where he wanted to get on the 4. Yeah. Yep. The whole time he was kind of fidgety.
Yeah. Well, we saw the clock run off to the beep, so that tells you that he wasn't too certain. Now, does he have the side here, or does he have to take the corner? The 4 is close. I think he gets by the 4 for the 3 in the side. I'd like to draw this out if I have the 3 in the side for the 4 in the upper left, George.
I think I would just roll it. I'd roll it and then take the 4 and try to come straight down.
I thought he had too much angle to roll it. I thought he would go up a little bit. That's why I thought he may pinch it out, like going towards the 9 a little bit with the cue ball. So.
As I look at the table, you're right.
Yeah, like that.
And that works too. Now you'll go 2 rails for the 5.
Right.
Yeah. As I looked at the table, you were right. Perfectly right. You just.
Well, it's easy to get deceived. Yeah. My first glance almost always fools me if I'm looking at the screen. Once I look back, I get a little more accurate. But one shot really right here. Well, that's got to slow down maybe a little. Looked a little hot coming out of the corner. No, I think you're right, George. The table's slowing down a little bit. Still not out of the woods, though, because he's going to get a little thin on the 5, on the 6. That's why this getting position on the 5 was important.
As long as he doesn't hit a rail and bounce up, he should be able. He's going to run. He's going to draw it into the 10.
Well, that's just to open up an alley, so he can put heavy outside spin on this, and now come at the 7 with the cue ball. I personally load it up with the outside, and if I get a little thin on the 7, that's fine. Just go back and forth. Don't think you have to get dead full on this. Now, I don't want to be cueing over a ball, that's for sure, but
I don't think you will be.
No, and this
is going to be real close.
I mean, this ain't straight in where you can stop, but it's very nice and natural back and forth.
Well, I think you can safely say this shot's for the match.
Yeah, if he stays smooth, the pocket's pretty big at this angle. Nice shot. Now, Thorsten rarely puts the outside on that shot to try and hold a little closer to that 8. And that's because of the technique and delivery. Doesn't offer putting as much side spin on it, but the one thing is he shoots darn straight doing it. So this should be okay here on the 8. Well, the future Hall of Famer in just a few weeks away. He's getting it done here in Wilmington, Ohio.
And this will move him into the final 16. On the winner's side, it won't matter once you're in the final 16 because it's single elimination in stage 2. Mishko will move over to the one-loss side and have to win his next 2 matches to get into that final 16.
Oh, just next match, right?
Just the next one. I think it's final. No, I think it's 2.
There you go. Thorsten Hohmann picking up some confidence, picking up some